Hi everybody, welcome back to Elaine's Gardening and Cooking channel. I've just got a brief show today entitled Hassle in the Castle. And the reason that I gave it that title was I'm having a few minor little problems in the indoor winter garden that I wanted to discuss with you and also give you an idea on how I plan to solve the problem. Okay, the, the lights are on. You'll probably not be able to see the plants behind me very well. Um, Everything back here is doing very, very well. The cucumbers are doing well. The only problem is they've got a lot of blooms, but they're all male. Every one of them are male. Now, I've had some problems with some of my beans being eaten before they come up. But, however, things seem to be straightening around that way, thank heaven. I've got some white beans here, the wax beans, I should say, the yellow beans. And they're coming along quite well. I only got one wax bean pod all summer. One! But anyway, the rest were all green. I had a pretty good crop of green beans. There was no problem there. I got one wax bean. It had 5 seeds in it. So I let it purposely go to seed, and then I took the seeds out, let them dry, etc., etc. And I planted all 5. Well, 2 got eaten. 2 got eaten. But we've got 3 that are growing. And they're coming along right here. They're growing quite well, actually. They're still a bit on the small side, but they look as though they could possibly set bud very soon, sooner than I expect. Now, I did take some pictures earlier. We've got a nice tomato plant right over here. It's one of the ones that I took from outside and I brought it in. I cut it back, nursed it along, and now here she is today. I don't know how well you can see it. I hope you can. But she's about to set bud. So I am really, really happy with that. What's going well too is the Swiss chard. It's growing well. It's still on the small side. The leaves are small, but then they're growing indoors, so I can't expect a great deal. The basil, some of the basil that I transplanted, it's doing very, very well. So I'm delighted with that. Now my problem is I've got a little bed over here that's about yay long and only about 5 inches in width. It's not too deep. It's only about 3 inches deep. Now I did plant in an egg carton. I planted some rock choy. Now they're coming up, but they're very spindly. This is what they look like so far. They're not doing very well. Okay, and the other things that are very spindly are my radish. I planted some radish a short while back, and they're coming up, and they're very spindly also. So what I'm planning on doing is replanting the radish, replanting the bok choy. I'm going to plant some more lettuce, and my carrots are giving me a little bit of a hassle in my castle because they're coming up all right. They've got some secondary leaves, but they're growing spindly as well. Even though I do have them in good light, I don't know. I can't understand what the problem is. However, I'll just keep on working at it. Now, just for the heck of it, I took a picture of some of the plants that I have out in the south-facing window, and they're coming along just so nicely. I hope you can see that. But they're coming along very, very well. I don't know if you're able to see that. There, that's a better view of it. Anyway, there's onions, there's tomatoes, there's garlic, and there's also another basil plant behind that, but you can't see that too well because of the view that I took this from. Okay, so I had a surprise this morning too. I planted some ruby red lettuce in this pot, and it just barely started to come up. Well, then it died down. Next thing you know, look here, corn. Obviously, I've had a corn seed in the soil, probably when I was shucking the little corn cobs that I saved for seed for next season. Probably I've dropped one in the soil, didn't realize it. Put the soil in the pot, planted. Now all of a sudden here, up comes the corn. So that's kind of cute. I'm just going to leave it. In fact, for the fun of it, I think what I'm going to do is plant a second little kernel of corn and let the two of them grow up indoors and just see for the heck of it if they will grow, how tall they'll get, and if indeed they might even bear some little miniature cobs. You never know. So I'm going to try it just for the fun of it and see what happens. So, aside from that, okay, here's another little mini tomato. This is one of the ones, a tomato that I bought from the grocery store, and I just cut a slice and planted it. This is one of the babies that have come up, and it's doing very, very well. The other tomatoes that I planted, oh gosh, they're here somewhere. Bear with me. Yeah, they're over here. It's hard for you to see, and I can't very well move them because I've got things nestled so very finely. If I move one, I'm liable to have an avalanche. So forgive me if I don't move them. But anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to use that as a little miniature bed. That little, it's about, a foot and a half in length by 5 inches in width. And it's about 3 inches in depth. So I'm going to take these and try to transplant them and see if they'll come. If not, I'll just replant. But anyway, and another little hint that I have for you, if your plants, an awful lot of plants like cucumbers and peppers, tomatoes, they like the fish oil because of the omega-3s in it. So instead of spending an awful lot of money on fish and burying the fish, what I've been doing is taking one of these little miniature shot glasses that you buy at the dollar store, and I fill that with water. And then I take one of these. Come out, come out. Oh, it's being stubborn on me. Anyway, I take one of these. They're omega-3 capsules. They're 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 oil. In other words, fish oil, literally. And what I do is I poke a little hole in the end with a sewing pin, and then I squirt that right into the water. Now, the spent capsule, I just throw that in the soil and let that rot in because it's going to just dissolve it eventually, and the gelatin's not going to harm anything. But anyway, the plants really do seem to enjoy it, and it's doing a good thing because they're coming along faster. I've used it on these little tomatoes. I've used it on the cucumber, and it's coming along well. I've used some on the peppers, and I am going to take a chance on moving this. I don't know if you can see too well or not. These are my baby beans, the white wax beans, I should say. If you can see, I don't think you probably can too well. So what I'll do is just take a little picky of it and give you a better idea what it looks like. There's a little baby pepper. And it's coming along so very well. I'm so proud of this. There she is, folks. She's coming. It's not very big yet, but it's coming, and it's taking on its true color. It's a purple king. This is another plant that I brought in from outdoors when it was starting to get really quite cool out and too cold for plants like this to stay outdoors, since these are hot weather loving plants. So anyway, aside from that, we're not having too much trouble, but we're having a little bit. So I'm going to do some replanting, even move it closer to the light if I can set it up on books or something to get it right underneath to make sure that it gets good light, better than what it's getting now. Obviously, it's not getting enough, because if it was, they wouldn't be spindly. So I'm going to try it again, and then I'll let you know how it goes. In the meantime, thank you so very much for coming in and watching the show. Please give us a like if you will. Come to our channel on Facebook page, Elaine's Gardening and Cooking Channel. We also have a Facebook page called Gardening Tips and Tricks. Be free to join. We'd love to have you. We're just one big happy family. Well over 17,000 members now, and we're still growing. So So come on in, and in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening. Bye for now.